Hey guys, it's Ethan with MOYA Tees. Recently I've gotten a few questions about screen printing from non-screen printers, and I just wanted to take a second to kind of address some of those questions. Great question, Doug. Essentially the way it works is you take a screen and you coat the screen with emulsion, which is a photosensitive chemical. You let that dry on the screen and you print your image onto a transparency. You take the transparency, you put it on top of the screen, and you expose that to light. Now the light will harden the screen everywhere where your image is not. Then once that's done, you rinse it out with water, and that will remove from the emulsion everywhere where the image was in the design that you printed on the transparency. Once that's gone, essentially what you have is a stencil. Then you take that to your press and you put ink through it, basically, onto the shirt, and that's essentially how it works. There's a lot of variables to consider here. How long you spend on artwork, with each different shirt, it's gonna be different because it depends on what you want the final result to look like, basically. For a simple shirt, it doesn't take too long. If you're starting with a fresh screen, you put the emulsion on that, you let it dry for a couple hours, you expose it for a few minutes, then you have to wash it out, you have to let that dry. There's a lot of drying and waiting in between, but the whole process for, if you were just to make one shirt, could be done in 4 or 5 hours, the way that I do it anyway. So I hope that answers your question. No, it's not quite like that. I mean, sure, there are similar aspects. I mean, some of the parts are sort of, you can't really. I mean, it's apples and oranges, really. You can't compare the two. Although, sure, yes. One. When it comes to ink, there are several different types of ink. There's plastisol and water base and discharge, and there's tons of different processes for printing shirts. But plastisol is pretty industry standard. Most screen printers use it. If they don't use it exclusively, they at least use it. It's kind of a basic ink. So plastisol comes in pints, quarts, gallons, or 5 gallons, and they range in price from $15 for a pint to $250 for a 5-gallon bucket. But there are many different types of plastisol inks too. Some of them are specialty inks that glow in the dark, or are metallic, or have shimmer, glitter in them, whatever, and those tend to cost more. But for the basic, just your standard colors, basically pints, quarts, and a pint around $15, like I said, $15 to $20. You can print, depending on how much ink is in your design, between 50 and 100 shirts with just the pint. So it's pretty cost-effective way to print. Test shirts, great question. I am in the habit of making the first print on a test shirt because I find that the first time you try to print ink through the screen, it doesn't all quite saturate through. And on the second print you're fine, but the first time the ink has to cover so many areas that it's easier to print on a test shirt because the first print doesn't usually turn out very good. So here's one of our test shirts, and you can see how much use we get out of one shirt. You can print 10 or 12 designs on one shirt. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. That's interesting. I find that my favorite designs are not big sellers of ours, so I'm not sure exactly if there's some sort of disconnect between myself and our customers. But the shirts that I find to be the best are not big sellers. So my all-time favorite design that we've done it's a simple text shirt, and it just says "Cinderella loves balls," and that's my personal favorite. And then I'll go ahead and end the video with some of our others.